Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you have not already, please subscribe. If you've liked any of my videos, please click like on those. If you haven't left a comment yet, please leave a comment. Even if it's on this one and you haven't watched the whole thing yet, you can start to say hello or something, introduce yourself, that'd be wonderful. I love your engagement and it helps my channel grow and it helps me get to know who's actually watching, and I appreciate that. Okay, my name is Stacy. We went over crow on my last video. A couple of things I wanted to mention with that. You can use blocks under your feet to help you get into the pose. And you can also use a block underneath your forehead or like almost to the crown of your head, kind of like in this vicinity, to help stabilize your body as you start learning to get your feet up in the pose. So today we're gonna go over side crow, and this is another one that a lot of yogis get excited about in yoga classes when I'm either teaching or taking class, but I don't see it very widely practiced. I see it widely like attempted or maybe like sprinkled around the room. Some yogis have tried it. So I know there's a lot of interest in this pose. There are a couple of ways to get into this pose, but one of the main ways is from a chair pose, Utkatasana. Okay, so Utkatasana, I like to take this pose with my feet hip width apart because I've had knee issues. I'm 39 and I'm starting to have more problems with my joints. So there are a couple of ways that this gets taught. This is the safest anatomically for me to keep proper alignment, but it is also taught, which I also practiced a lot throughout my years as a yogi, knees and toes touching, big toes and knees touching, slight separation of your heels. Wonderful if this feels good to you. It's not my favorite anymore because of the knee issues that I've had. Anyways, so I take mine hip width apart, and then you sink your weight back into your heels. And we want some lift in our upper body. And we don't necessarily want to curl our tailbone, but we want a little, maybe like a little baby curl. Basically activates your pelvic floor and your core so that the crown of the head is reaching away from the tailbone and there's length in your spine. You can bring your thumbs to touch your heart in prayer, or your arms up by your ears as straight as you can get them. Okay, if you were to look down, you could see all 10 toes. If you can't, that means you need to shift your weight a little more back into your heels. So that's a little Utkatasana. But from here is where we'll get into side crow. I'm gonna move over to make sure I have room. So often there's a chair prayer twist here. Elbow outside knee. We always twist from our thoracic spine, middle spine, which is like our rib cage, up to our shoulders, then our neck. Your low back or like lumbar isn't meant to rotate like that. There's not a huge range of motion there. So keep your hips level with each other. You're twisting from the middle of your back up. From there, you can open your arms like wings, one hand up, one hand down. Start to squat it down, making contact with the earth. Try to keep your knees in alignment. And then start to squat all the way down. Heels will lift. Hands come down shoulder width apart. And then you'll bend your elbows like wings, like chaturanga elbows. I don't know why I said wings. And then set your right hip on your right elbow and your right knee against your left arm. Your right elbow, when you first start this pose, will support you a lot. If over the years you get stronger, you might start taking your hip off that elbow. Okay, so hip to elbow, knee to other elbow, and start to shift your weight forward. So we're facing the side of our mat right now. As you shift your weight forward, your chest is gonna dip down, and you're gonna press into all 10 fingers. Slight tuck of the chin to keep your back neck long and open. And then from here, you can float up your top foot, and then maybe your bottom foot starts to float off the earth. You can use blocks underneath your feet to help, or a block underneath your head to help support you. Okay, if it's available, you can start to scissor open your legs. That's like next step. bring the legs together and bring your feet down. I just kicked the wall behind me or the door behind me, so I couldn't fully go into that, but I'll turn to the other side. Getting out of the pose, bring your feet down, lift your upper body back up. You're in your twisted squat here. And then start to float your hips up back to where you started in your twisted chair. And then back to center. And let's do the other side. Okay, chair pose, big breath in. I went to upward arms pose first. Little break, inhale. Exhale, twist to the other side. Elbow outside knee, knees in alignment. Gazing over your left shoulder. Squat it down, palms to earth, shoulder width apart. Twisting from the middle back. Bend your elbows like chaturanga, make a shelf. Let me scoot back to the side. So we're facing the left side of our mat. Take your left hip against your left elbow, left knee stacked against your right elbow. Shift forward enough that your chest and head dips down. Back neck is long and open. Top foot can float up and bottom foot can float up. All right, we're pressing actively, kind of this back and forth motion. Press the earth away, dip down. Press the earth away, dip down. Press the earth away, dip down. Okay, maybe the legs open. And then bring them back together. It's okay if you fall. Your head's very low to the ground. So it's not like a huge distance to the earth. Hopefully that's safer for you. And you can keep blankets or bolsters around you as well, or pillows to support you if you don't, if you feel like you need something, which is perfectly, I don't want to say normal. Anything is normal when we're learning, but it's acceptable. Please use things to support you. Okay, and then arms open like wings, and then back to our center chair, and rise, upward arms pose. Exhale, thumbs to heart center. Something I don't really want to make this video too long, but you can also use a wall for your feet and kind of walk your feet up the wall as you're learning to support yourself on your hands. If you don't have a block or something, you can use the wall and it'll help stabilize you when you're in the pose. So that would look like this. You can also just go straight to your squat. You don't have to do chair if you want to reserve some energy like I'm doing right now. So I'm in a squat, heels are up, legs are pretty much touching. And then my hands come to the side. And then I bend my elbows basically to set my hip down, and then press my elbow against my outer left leg. So I'm turning to the left right now. And then I can take my feet against the wall and help support myself that way. All right, let me know how it goes, and please be patient with yourself. This pose can take years to get. Inversions take a long time. Arm balances take a long time, and it's really important to practice that process, that idea of process, having patience with ourselves, using breath to help us. Just grace, understanding ourselves and what we're feeling in our body through it all. If we need to take a break in the middle of it, take that break and come out. You don't want to injure yourself, it's not worth it. And just have fun, as best you can. That's the whole point. If it's not fun, I'd say just spare yourself. I mean, you can push yourself for some challenge, but keep it light. Flying like this on our arms is such a beautiful lesson in keeping things light and having fun. All right, enjoy, namaste. Thank you so much for coming to visit today. Bye.